YTBC, what's the deal? So this is kind of old news, but I just clicked on the link and actually just read the article. It was Oscar De La Hoya saying that he, just talking about pretty much this era. He's glad that the era is over. He called the era boring. And he was talking about the Floyd Mayweather era. Now, I'm not going to make this video about if Floyd, his whole career and run down his resume, or how many champions he fought or who he didn't fight. I'm not going through that. But what I am going through is this, or what I will say is this. Somehow, some way, man, in the last, I want to say about 4 or 5 years in boxing, somehow, some way, fans of certain fighters or certain fighting styles, they try to make it out that if you like knockouts, or you want to be excited, or you want to be on the edge of your seat, or you want to be, up on your feet cheering and, everybody at the fight party going crazy. They've made that into people like that don't know boxing. If you're that type of fan that likes, knockouts and drag out fight, you don't know boxing. You don't know shit about boxing. And I think that's kind of corny, man. Because now you're telling, fans that have been watching, even fans older than me, man, guys that are, in their 50s and their 40s and their late 30s. I mean, I'm in my mid 30s, but guys like us and older than me, man. So now you're trying to tell me that wanting to be excited is not knowing boxing now. And that's totally false. So pretty much, if a guy doesn't have the skill level of a, Floyd Mayweather or something, they're not worth watching. Well, now he's retired, and, you can probably argue Guillermo Rigondeaux, as far as, counter punching skill and being a slick fighter like that, you can put him up there. Andre Ward to a certain degree, but in no way am I going to sit here and act as if when Rigondeaux fights and when Andre Ward fights and, that I'm up, even Bernard Hopkins, a guy who's one of my favorites, that I'm up on my seat, up out of my seat, jumping up. No, I'm not. I'm really not. I know what to expect when I watch those guys. But for some reason in this era, in the Floyd Mayweather era, it has turned into, if you don't like defensive first fighters, then you don't know nothing about boxing. So I'm glad that that's over with, man, because it sounds really stupid. It just really does, man. That's like saying if you watch the football game, the Giants, the Giants about to play the Cowboys, and the damn score is 3-3 going into the fourth quarter. It'd be like, well, the defenses are playing great, but this is a boring game, man. There's nothing going on offense. Everybody's getting sacked. They're fumbling, turning the ball over. I mean, nothing's efficient on the offensive end. So somebody said, man, this shit's, as far as the entertainment quality is kind of boring. Even if you're Rex Ryan, man, and you know what I'm saying, and you're a defensive guy, and I know I'm talking football, and you're a defensive guy, 3-3 is not exciting. Maybe for the linebackers and the people on defense, but overall, when fans are watching, even if you're a fan and watching a sport for 50 years, 30 years, 5 years, that's not exciting. Watching somebody get in the ring and just play keep away and land just scoring shots to score, that's not exciting, man. It's just not exciting. Like, I like to be excited. Like, when I spend $100, $50, whatever, on pay-per-views or whatever, I want to be excited. I don't want to pay that money to sit there and just be quiet and dry as hell. Like, I want to see excitement. I like knockouts. And for some reason, it's like, it's almost taboo now to want to see a knockout. I've seen uploaders, there's one uploader, and I'm not here to say that, these uploaders don't know shit about boxing. No, I'm not saying that, but it's just, I can just tell different fans like different things. Like, there's some uploader, I was watching a Timothy Bradley video the other day where the uploader was saying, forgot the dude's name, man, the uploader, but shouts out to him. I forgot his name, but he was saying, he wants to see Timothy Bradley fight in a different style now. We've seen enough of the warrior Timothy Bradley, and he should take it easy and box more, which I think he could box a little bit more. And he's only lost one fight, the one fight to Pacquiao. I thought he lost both fights, but he lost one fight to Pacquiao. And he moved and boxed. Timothy Bradley picks and chooses when he wants to move and box. He didn't just stand right there in front of Manny and just slug it out. He didn't do that. He didn't do that with Marquez either. He just picks and chooses when he thinks it's a benefit to him. But the thing is with Timothy, though, is sometimes it's not his benefit. He thought he can do that with Provodnikov, but he shouldn't have. He picks and chooses when he wants to do it. But if there's guys, like I said, the uploaders pretty much saying, why don't you just, fight how Floyd's been doing it? Now, if he does fight like that, could his career bring more longevity? Possibly. But everybody's not Floyd. Maybe everybody doesn't fight like that, man. It was kind of like when Ali was leaving and you had guys like Greg Page and you had guys like Tyrell Biggs and you had guys like Michael Dokes. All these guys were kind of fighting kind of like a little bit like Ali and Larry Holmes, trying to pump the jab and move. And then you had a guy like Tyson come in. Then you had Tyson come in. You had guys trying to, do the peekaboo, and you had some heavyweights trying to come in and fight like Tyson. So every era has this, every era with their popular fighter, whether it was Ali, Tyson, Roy Jones. Like I told y'all before, when Roy Jones was doing this thing, you could have went into any gym in America in the mid-90s, and I guarantee you that majority of the fighters were trying to mimic somehow, some way, something of Roy Jones. Well, we know damn well you shouldn't fight with your hands down, but there were fighters out there trying to mimic Roy Jones because he was the most popular. And right now, I know he said he retired, but I have to wait to really see that with Floyd. But right now it's his era. It's all about, not engaging and just scoring shots to win decisions. And that's fine if that works for you. But you can't get mad when fans don't like the shit. Just like there's a lot of fans, as exciting as Roy was, some fans didn't like the, fighting with your hands down type shit. Because then you had Prince Nassim that came in, Hamed came in and pretty much fought kind of like Roy a little bit. Sergio Martinez after that, so I don't know, man. And Roy, he would piss people off too. He'll pot shot to decisions sometimes, but he would, he would do it in style a little bit, but people wasn't happy with some of his fights sometimes. I'm not saying all the time. I'm not saying as much as Floyd's. I'm just saying sometimes. But I want to see knockouts, man. I want the next pay-per-view star to be somebody when I turn on, I know I'm paying to see a knockout. Or at least somebody's going to try for a knockout. Now, does that mean you have to go in there and fight sloppy for a knockout? And that's another thing. Fans think that in order to get a knockout, you have to go in there head hunting and fight sloppy and leave yourself vulnerable for the sake of some stupid fans. Like, that's how they think. Oh, man, he shouldn't have to go in there and look for a knockout just to satisfy you. Well, who the fuck is he trying to satisfy? The fans, right? It's like some of you guys get so wrapped up in your favorite fighter. You're fine with watching a boring fight as long as your favorite fighter wins. I want to see knockouts, man. I want to see knockouts. Like a guy like James Toney, he didn't knock everybody out, but when James Toney, especially when he was fighting at super middleweight, when that motherfucker was swinging, he was swinging for the fences, whether he knocked you out or not. He was trying to put hurt on you. Ask Michael Nunn. Ask Iran Barkley. Ask a few of his opponents, was he at least trying to put some hurt on you? And that's just what I want to see. I want to see guys try to put hurt on each other, man. I don't want to see guys try to just outscore each other. And, when these guys sign up for boxing, man, they know what they're signing up for. I'm not saying I want to see these guys at the end of their career not being able to, you know, to speak and to play with their children and to, you know, all the things that, the cliche things that boxers says about their health. And they should be concerned about their health. I'm not just some bloodthirsty dude that don't give a fuck about their health. You know, I don't want nobody to walk out of the ring or to get carried on a stretcher out of the ring and they can't function. I'm not saying that. But they know what they signed up for. It's like when you watch football and these dudes sign up for football and somebody gets a broken leg. They want to change the fucking rules. It's like, dude, it's football. These motherfuckers are running around at high speeds, lunging their bodies at each other. Somebody, you know, when there's impact like this, you don't think a broken bone's going to happen? You don't think somebody's going to blow their fucking knee out? This is boxing. Okay, so with boxing, you don't think a concussion is going to happen? They're boxing. You don't think somebody's going to get knocked unconscious? Somebody's tooth's going to get punched out of their mouth? A motherfucker might piss blood after the fight because of so many body shots they've took over the course of a fight? You don't think there's a possibility of a motherfucker breaking their wrist or getting their brain rattled? This is what they signed up for, man. Eventually, we're just going to be wearing, 18-ounce gloves. We're going to skim it down to 10 rounds for championship fights. I care about the fighters' safeties, man. But at the same time, let's not, put it in other fighters' ears, man, that they should fight pretty much how Floyd Mayweather fights. Because it's not going to work for everybody. Tim Bradley is who he is. But when you start saying, hey, man, I want to see guys in with lighter touches and cupcake fights and, for the sake of their health, then they might as well just retire. Your health is always in danger, man. But to say, put the top guys in there with the Rod Salkas of the world just so they can preserve their health, well, then what about the Rod Salkas? What about the motherfuckers that's going to get knocked out in 1 or 2 rounds? What about their health? It has to work for everybody, man. Quillen just knocked the fuck out of, what's the dude name? Zafara? Some Chippendale stripper dude. Okay, so we preserve Quillen. He's okay, but what about the Chippendale dude that got sent out on a stretcher? What about him? You get what I'm trying to say? Like, your health is always in danger. But now now I see fans saying, well, put the guys I like in there with cupcakes so they won't have to take punishment. This is boxing, yo. There's tragedies in this sport, man. There's casualties. Like, I'm not trying to be cold-hearted, but it is what it is. It's a blood sport, man. I don't want to see nobody die for the benefit of my entertainment. I'm not saying that, but I want to be fucking entertained when I pay X amount of dollars to watch 2 professionals that know what they're getting into get in the ring and get it on. You guys took it from 15 rounds to 12 rounds. And before that, remember, y'all know when it was unlimited rounds. Motherfuckers fighting to the 40th, 20th, 30th round. Please don't water this sport. Don't water our sport down, man. And now, I hear fans out there saying that, top guys should take on cupcakes because their schedules are too tough. I mean, your schedule's that doesn't even make any sense to me. Your schedule is too tough in boxing. You want to be the best, prove you're the best every time out. But now we're complaining about guys' schedule being too tough. So you want to see a shitty fight. So you want to see a shitty fight, right? That's what you guys are saying. Just my opinion on a few things, man. YTBC, I'm out.